From Olympic glory to heavyweight wars, their paths were destined to intertwine. El Animal versus the Juggernaut, a clash of styles, a battle of wills. But what pivotal moments led them to that fateful night in Manchester? For Hrgovic, boxing wasn't just a hobby. It was clear early on he had something special. Coming out of Croatia, he was racking up medals like they were going out of style. We're talking serious pedigree here, gold at the Youth Worlds in 2010, then topping the podium again at the European Championships in 2015. But the real stamp of amateur class came at the 2016 Olympics in Rio. He battled his way to a bronze medal, showcasing that power and determination that would become his trademarks. Word on the street was his amateur record was stacked, around 66 fights, which tells you he wasn't just talented, he was putting in the work. Even back then, you could see the makings of El Animal. That relentless, powerful style was starting to take shape. Then you've got Joyce, a bit of a different story. He came to boxing a bit later, after dabbling in other sports. But once he laced up the gloves, he made up for lost time, big time. His amateur run was shorter but seriously impressive. Think gold at the 2014 Commonwealth Games, a huge achievement. Then, just like Hrgovic, he struck gold at the 2015 European Games, proving he was a force on the continent. And just like Hrgovic, the Olympics were a major stage for him. In Rio 2016, he went all the way to the final, snagging a silver medal in a closely contested fight. What was cool about Joyce even as an amateur was his unique style, that relentless pressure, the high work rate, and that chin that seemed to be made of granite. You could already see the Juggernaut nickname fitting him like a glove. Hrgovic wasted no time making his presence felt. He turned pro with a clear mission, and his early fights were a witness to his power, racking up those knockout wins. Names like Eric Molina and Dempsey McKean on his win list showed he was stepping up the competition. His aggressive, come-forward style, that El Animal intensity, was proving a real handful for opponents. He was climbing the rankings, clearly eyeing those big title shots. Then came the Dubois fight in June 2024, his first pro loss for the IBF interim belt. It was a setback, no doubt, but it also added another layer to his story, a test of his resilience heading into the Joyce fight. Despite the loss, his high ranking showed he was still a major player. Joyce's pro journey also kicked off in 2017, and he quickly became known for that relentless, juggernaut approach. He might not have had the same one-punch knockout reputation as some, but his sheer volume of punches, his incredible engine, and that rock-solid chin wore opponents down. Wins over guys like Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker were significant statements, proving his toughness and ability to beat top contenders. He even grabbed the WBO interim title for a spell. However, those two back-to-back losses to Zhilei Zhang were a tough pill to swallow, raising questions about his future and making the Hrgovic fight a crucial one for his career trajectory. He needed to prove he could still mix it at the highest level after those defeats. Okay, so fast forward a few years, and you've got these two heavyweight forces, Hrgovic and Joyce, both carving out their paths in a division that's always buzzing with excitement. The heavyweight scene is a tough place, everyone's gunning for those belts, and sometimes, when you've got two highly ranked guys with similar ambitions, their paths are bound to cross. That's exactly what happened here. Think about it. Both Hrgovic and Joyce had reached a point where a big win was crucial. Hrgovic was looking to bounce back strong after that first pro defeat and prove he was still a serious threat in the division. Joyce, on the other hand, was coming off those tough losses and needed to show he still had what it takes to compete at the top level. They were both in that mix of contenders, knocking on the door of bigger opportunities. The fight itself became significant for a few key reasons. Firstly, it was a chance for both to re-establish themselves in the title conversation. A win here would be huge for their momentum and their standing with the sanctioning bodies. Secondly, the styles clash was genuinely intriguing. You had Hrgovic's aggressive power going up against Joyce's relentless pressure and granite chin. It was the kind of matchup that fight fans love to debate. What would give? Could Hrgovic's power crack Joyce's durability, or would Joyce's work rate overwhelm Hrgovic? The stakes were high for both their futures in the sport. When the fight was announced for Manchester, it generated a good buzz. The narrative around it was interesting. Could Joyce, the veteran, prove he still had it? Could Hrgovic show that his first loss was just a blip? There was definitely anticipation building, with fans and media eager to see how this collision of styles would play out. It felt like an inevitable clash between two guys who had both put in the hard yards to reach this point. Alright, so the date was set, April 5, 2025. Manchester, UK, was the battleground. The atmosphere was electric, you could feel the tension in the air. Both Hrgovic and Joyce had their loyal supporters in the arena, and everyone knew this wasn't just another fight, it was a pivotal moment for both their careers. The expectations were high. Would it be a power punch clinic from Hrgovic, or would Joyce's relentless engine and iron chin see him through? When the bell rang, what unfolded was a real heavyweight scrap. Hrgovic came out looking to impose his power early, landing some heavy shots. But Joyce, true to his juggernaut nickname, just kept coming forward, absorbing the blows and trying to work his way inside. It was a fascinating clash of styles playing out in front of a packed house. Over the 10 rounds, it was a hard-fought contest, with both fighters having their moments, digging deep and showing their grit. In the end, when the scorecards were read out, it was Filip Hrgovic who got the nod. The judges' scores were unanimous, 97-93, 96-95, and 98-92, all in favor of the Croatian. You could see the relief and elation on Hrgovic's face. He'd bounced back from that first loss in a big way. For Joyce, it was a tough moment. Another defeat on his record, and this one against a fellow top contender, raised serious questions about his future in the sport. The immediate aftermath saw a lot of talk about what was next for both men, with some even suggesting it might be time for Joyce to hang up the gloves after a tough run of results. Hrgovic, on the other hand, had put himself right back in the conversation for those big title opportunities. It was a decisive night in Manchester, with Hrgovic emerging the victor in a significant heavyweight showdown. Their clash in Manchester served as a significant moment in the heavyweight landscape, a reminder of the high stakes and the constant evolution of the division. While their paths diverged that night, both Hrgovic and Joyce have undoubtedly left their mark on the sport, contributing to the ongoing drama and excitement of heavyweight boxing. As we look ahead, their journeys, the victories, the defeats, and the lessons learned will continue to shape their future endeavors in the ring and their legacies within the sport. The heavyweight story is far from over, and the chapters written by El Animal and the Juggernaut will remain a compelling part of its narrative. If you enjoyed this journey through Hrgovic and Joyce's careers leading up to their Manchester showdown, make sure to hit that like button. Share this video with other boxing fans, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth boxing stories and analysis.